Okay, so I've had these songs that keep coming in my head. I'm sure you've had that experience, right? But a lot of times I think of them as random, like, oh, isn't that cute? This song came in my head. And lately, I don't know, maybe the past 3 or 4 months, I've been looking into, well, what does that song actually mean? What is it trying to tell me? So if you've had this, I'm going to share with you my experience. And I've shared this a lot on my podcast and with clients, but I operate a lot from that the universe and my guides are always talking to me. They're always sending me signals and signs and synchronicities. And so songs are just one more way that they're communicating to me, which I recently just received. So what are some other ways? Because I know a lot of you can probably relate to this. So maybe, let me just get comfortable here. Maybe your way of knowing that you're on the right path is you see numbers. You see 222 or 333 or 444. I call these angel numbers. And a lot of times when I see numbers in repeat, or 1111, another one of my favorites. So whenever I see these numbers on repeat, I get excited because to me that's confirmation from the universe that I'm on the right path. That's just the story I've made up. You can make up your own. But then I also go a step further, and when I see animals, I know that's a message. So I'm always Googling, like we were just on vacation. I think I shared this. We went to Playa del Carmen for spring break and tons of animal events happened. My husband and I were walking down this path and all of a sudden I look down and there is this 10-foot long boa constrictor about 4 inches from my ankle. And instantly I knew that was not random. And part of noticing the signs and the synchronicities are noticing that things aren't actually random in life. If you relate to them like they're random, you're going to lose the deeper meaning that's meant for you at that time. Because here's what I know for certain. No one else saw a boa constrictor. No one else was talked to me and said, oh my gosh, did you see that boa constrictor? Another day, we were walking and right outside of our room, and this hotel was spectacular, unbelievable wellness retreat. And on the floors, there were open windows and such. And everyone was commenting how cute these monkeys were in the trees. And we had walked by them and there was a mama and a baby and a dad and an uncle. It was so cute. But one day it wasn't so cute. We walked into on the floor of our hotel room and it was highly traumatic. I still need to post this video. But there was a monkey that went after my husband and like grabbed his bag from him and started playing with his sunglasses. And then one was chasing my daughter and grabbing her leg. And when I went to go save her, one like chased me down the stairs and latched on to my dress. And I'm like going in circles screaming like, oh my gosh, help me! A lunatic. But then I looked up the deeper meaning of what these animals symbolized, and it was spot on with what I needed to hear with what I was dealing with in life. And going back to songs. So there's a lot of different symbols and synchronicities that we can see in life. So lately it's been songs. And I know for 6 months I wasn't getting the clue. So I kept having this song. Gosh, now I have to think what it is. Oh, Counting Stars. That song now I'm not going to think of the words to it. We'll be counting money, we'll be counting stars. That song. Take that money, watch it burn, sing to the rhythm, the lessons I've learned. That song. That song was on repeat in my head over and over and over again for I don't know how long, like 6 months. I would wake up in the morning singing it. My daughter would be like, that song again? And it wasn't until, this is what I love AI for, it wasn't until I got on AI and I looked up what are the deeper meanings of this song and what I'm dealing with. And it was completely spot on. It was so incredible. So then lately I've been listening to the songs more often and there's a couple that have been popping up, which is perfect for doing these lives. So I've been really working on being more vulnerable, being more seen, and stepping into, being more visible, which is not the easiest thing on the planet for me. Even those of you who look at me and say, wow, it's pretty easy for her. Not so much. But here's the songs that recently came to me. One was, the other day we got home from our vacation and we were in a restaurant and I heard this song, Lonesome Loser. Do you guys remember that song? Have you heard about the lonesome loser? Anyways, that song, I was like, oh my gosh, I loved this song when the song came on. Well, then it kept looping in my head days later. So then I looked up, what are the words to this song? What is this song actually trying to tell me? And it was amazing what came out of it. And I know that it wasn't random. It was exactly what I needed to hear at the time. And then this morning also, the other song that's been coming up is that song, You Paved Paradise to Put Up a Parking Lot, which is so amazing because for me, why that song's coming up for me is because I love my freedom to be. And there is this block to the more visible I get, the bigger I get, I have to give up some of that freedom and some of that juicy time for myself, which is not true. So sometimes these songs have you see what your beliefs are, what your limiting beliefs are, and your body's trying to give you these messages. I just saw your note, Sabine. Thanks for being here and thanks for the comment. I'm so glad I have amazing energy today. I'm really excited about this message, and I'm sure you and everyone watching has had these signs and synchronicities. But the deeper thing I want to get to is that it's not just noticing them, which I know is fun. I even have this friend who always sees license plates that say messages on them. So it's fun to realize them. But the deeper thing is, what is your body trying to tell you? And if you know me even a little bit, I do a lot of work with the nervous system and your body. And a lot of times that's what's stopping us from attaining the money, the wealth, the love, the everything we want in our life. Our body has these messages for us. So how is your body? But I also believe it's your body in conjunction with the universe. It's your body in conjunction with your guides, with your angels, whatever it is that you believe in. They're trying to send messages in however you'll hear it. And if you don't take a pause, if you think it's just random things, I remember, oh my gosh, 25 years ago, what was that book? There's this book that I love, which was all about there are no coincidences in life. It'll come to me. But so I've always taken the case that there are no coincidences. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason for you. Even the doors that slam on your face, even the person who says something to you. I have so many things that are flashing through my head right now. I remember one day, I was just sharing this with some friends yesterday, but someone commented on one of the videos I did, and it was really mean, quite frankly. And at first I was like really taken aback by it, like, oh my gosh, how rude of you to be so mean. And then I took a breath and I reread what she wrote, and I had it be a learning lesson. I was like, well, what if it wasn't about that? But what if there's something for me to learn from this? Because again, there are no coincidences in life. So if you really look deep to what are the songs that are going through your head, what are the animals that are showing up unexpectedly? Like one day I was sitting here in my office and I look out my window and there's 3 little bunnies right there out my window. I've lived here 9 years and I've never seen 3 bunnies out my window. So if you stop thinking that these things are random and you start looking at them for, these are messages for me. And they're coming to you in whatever form you're available to hear them. And sometimes it may be that, like, my daughter is a theater kid and she wakes up singing songs every day. And there's always song in my house. And she is always singing 100 songs a day. And sometimes a song goes in my head that she's been singing. Well, that's probably not the sign for me. But when I wake up in the morning, the first song that comes to my mind before I've done anything, like I'm just going to brush my teeth and a song comes in my mind, that's the universe talking to me. Those are the times where I need to pay attention. And what I've really gotten the habit of is, if I can't figure it out, because sometimes we're too close to the message that we can't figure out what is this trying to tell me, that's when I go to AI. I love AI for this. And I keep a record and I always put them in so that it can then look for clues, because what AI is great is noticing the patterns. That's what it's brilliant at. So if I put in everything and then it can give me back all the patterns of what's happening, then I can see the deeper meaning that I wasn't able to see. Now, I just want to say this, and I know that you already know this, but I'm not saying just use AI blindly and take everything that it tells you and just move with it. No. We all know, don't do that. But look to see, sort of like you're talking to a friend and they say, do you think it might be this? That's how I relate to AI. Like, do you think it might be this? Maybe. Or the other day I was going live, which, Sabine, you know this since you're on here. And I sat down in a park by some water, and all of a sudden the geese started going crazy, and they weren't before. By the way, that's happened to me a lot when I'm walking this park. Everything will be quiet, and then all of a sudden hundreds of geese will fly over me. And I've never seen that before. And then 10 minutes later, once I notice, there's something, or maybe 5 minutes later, there's something not random about this. There's something for me to understand about this. Then it all goes silent again. They can go back to their business because I received the message that was meant for me. So what are these messages that are coming to you that you might be missing? And maybe make a journal of it. Maybe just use your AI to do it. Maybe I always have my notes up on my phone, and I dictate notes when I'm driving or put it in voice notes to keep a record of all of these things. Because sometimes I'm too busy or my nervous system's off and I don't connect all of the dots appropriately. That's why nervous system work is so important. Because in our lives today, our systems are so overreactivated, going crazy, that we need to take a breath, relax, and tune in. And I'm at fault of this just as much as anyone else. There are some days where I'm like, I'm just too busy to sit down and do a healing or meditate or do my breath work or do my tapping or whatever it is that I do for my nervous system on any given day. But the days that you do tune in and work on your nervous system are the days where everything starts to flow. At least for me. So when I'm working and I'm hustling and I'm in my mental situation, like thinking things through and being in my mind, work is so much harder when I'm not noticing the synchronicities and I'm trying to figure something out, which we've all do. But it's times where we can take a deep breath, tune in, create intention. What is my intention for what I'm doing this hour? So we block out things on our calendar. We block off who we're meeting with, what we're doing, what we're accomplishing. But the magic happens when you stop and create an intention for each of those things. What's my intention for getting on this call with my client? What do I want? What do I want out of that? What do I want them to get out of that? What's my intention? What breakthrough? And what do I want for myself out of this time where I'm getting online and doing a live? My intention is to contribute something to you, to have you see something that maybe you missed, that the seeing of which changes your life. Because if you start noticing these signs, these synchronicities, these songs, these animals, these numbers, I'm sure I've forgotten more things. Oh, running into people. That's another thing. So the other day, my daughter and I went to this area of town at a certain time, and we saw these two women walking. And the very next day, we were in the same area. Maybe a half an hour later, we saw the exact same two women. And I was like, I wonder what, and sometimes you won't be able to figure it out. Like with these two women, I couldn't figure it out. I'm wondering if I'm going to see them again. But I always think, why out of all the people that could be here right now? Now, some of you might think, well, it's because they walk that area at that exact time. Except for I don't. I'm never in that area at that exact time. So what's the message for me? So if you, now I'm speaking specifically to those of you who might be skeptical, like who might not want to take on that there are no coincidences in life. That's okay, you don't have to. This conversation is literally meant to empower you and have you, if you're open to it, become more aware of what your body, what the universe, what your guides are trying to tell you and where they're trying to direct you. Because if we listen to the messages, if we listen to where they're directing us, if we listen to all of that, that's where the magic happens in life. And so often in life, people want magic. They want the miracles. They want things to just poof, happen. And a lot of times, those things are right there. They are right there waiting for you, but you're unaware of them. You're not noticing. You're too in your head or being unconscious in that moment that you miss them. So I guess my invitation is, what can you do to stabilize your nervous system? Take deep breaths. What can you do so that you notice more of the synchronicities? Because they will direct you on your path. They will light the way. And that is where the magic and miracles are. So I hope you got something out of this conversation. If you did, I would love to hear it in the comments. I'd love to hear what your signs and synchronicities are that maybe aren't what mine are. I'd love to hear what they are. And if there's any way I can support you on your journey, reach out. Have an amazing day. I'm sending so much love to all of you, and we'll talk tomorrow.